Is Mario Kart World the ultimate Mario Kart experience? Today, we're diving deep into the legacy of this legendary gaming franchise, uncovering its highs, its innovations, and the impact it's had on players worldwide. As we explore the epic legacy of Mario Kart, we'll be bringing it to life with some stunning Mario Kart themed art. But before we jump into the creative process, let's rewind and dive into the history of this iconic franchise. Mario Kart has come a long way, evolving from the flat tracks of Super Mario Kart on the SNES to the gravity-defying courses of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch. Over the decades, it has introduced unforgettable moments like the chaotic 4-player races of Mario Kart 64, the dynamic teamwork of Double Dash, and the groundbreaking online play of Mario Kart DS. The series didn't stop there, embracing motion controls in Mario Kart Wii, adding gliders and underwater racing in Mario Kart 7, and even blending the virtual with the real world in Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Now, with Mario Kart World on the horizon from the Nintendo Switch 2, it's clear that this iconic franchise isn't just about kart racing. It's about pushing boundaries and bringing players together for over 30 years of thrilling, banana peel throwing fun. And this is one of the big reasons why I'm so excited for the release of Nintendo Switch 2. But beyond the thrill, I'm feeling incredibly inspired. That's why I've decided to embark on a creative journey, drawing all of my favorite Nintendo characters in a Switch 2 drawing series leading up to release day. If you haven't guessed already, today's drawing will feature both Mario and his iconic kart we all know and love. But I wanted to have some fun with this piece. I mean, it's not every day a new Mario Kart game comes out, especially as a launch title on a new Nintendo console. So that got me thinking, how could I make this piece special? And then I realized nothing gets me hyped for a new movie like an awesome movie poster. So I decided to create a movie poster style drawing for Mario Kart World, inspired by some iconic characters and their awesome vehicles, including Fast and the Furious, Mad Max Fury Road, and for me, one of the greatest movie franchises ever, Back to the Future. And to this day, that's one of my favorite movie posters ever. Another source of inspiration for this piece comes from the legendary Akira Toriyama. Just look at this incredible promo art of Kid Goku on top of a truck. How cool is that? Now that the concept is locked in and the kart is mostly drawn, it's time to bring everyone's favorite plumber to life. Let's dive into drawing Mario and make this piece truly epic. As you can see, when I first start my Mario sketch, things are looking pretty rough. For me, things always start out looking this way, and over time I keep building on what I have and refining the line art until I'm happy. And speaking of time, this drawing took a whopping 427 minutes, or just over 7 hours to complete. So patience is key. If you're loving my drawing process and the deep dive into Mario Kart's history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so you never miss a new video. This is the third video in my Nintendo Switch 2 Celebration drawing series, so make sure to check out the other two videos as well. So I'm excited about this movie poster style idea, but executing that idea was at times a bit challenging. When I'm trying to take an image of one character, like Kid Goku, and transform that same pose into a Mario drawing, it can be tough because it's not a redraw, but a reinterpretation of a similar pose. Luckily, I have a fantastic reference image to work from, which lets me flex my creative muscles and put my own spin on a similar pose. Let's dive into the challenges I faced while creating this piece. The biggest hurdle was getting Mario's proportions just right. When drawing Mario in this pose, it's easy to make his legs too short. I kept running into this issue, but the lasso tool came to my rescue. When I noticed the legs were too short, I used the lasso tool to cut and extend them, filling in the blank space with line art. This allowed me to lengthen the legs without having to redraw everything. Once again, I'm reminded of why I love digital art. Quick shout out to Clip Studio Paint, my go-to digital art platform. It's been a game changer for me and I can't recommend it enough. Drawing Mario's arms folded in a believable way was also quite a challenge. I kept going back and forth on whether to show his fingers or not. It was a tough decision because I wanted to make sure the pose looked natural and dynamic. But the biggest challenge of all was getting the shape of Mario's head and his hat just right. This part really gave me a run for my money. I must have redrawn his head and hat 10 or 15 times, and even then, I still wasn't completely happy with it. It was frustrating, but that's part of the creative process. So, like usual, I decided it was time to take a break and get back into that creative space. And you know what that means. Time for a Mario Kart break. So I fired up the Super NES Classic, grabbed my wireless controller, and got to work. Part of my creative process, especially when it comes to creating video game art, involves taking breaks and diving back into the game itself. Re-immersing myself in the source material helps me capture the essence and excitement of the game, which in turn can refuel me when I creatively run out of gas. It's all about reminding myself of why I wanted to make the art in the first place, my love of gaming, and in this case, Nintendo as a whole. Admittedly, I'm not the greatest Mario Kart player in the world, but that's fine for me because I'm just trying to have fun and get the creative juices flowing. Of course, I had to choose Mario here because after all, that is the character I'm drawing today. Speaking of characters, Mario Kart World has a ton of new characters. Leave me a comment and let me know who your main character is to race as and which new character are you most excited for. I had a lot of fun doing this race and it's just what I needed to get back into drawing mode. Let's get back to drawing Mario. Now that I'm back in the zone, I noticed a few things off with Mario's face and hat. The shape of his nose was wrong, and the hat's overall shape needed tweaking. I also decided to adjust his chin, and I'm loving how these changes are coming together. Earlier in the drawing process, I experimented with giving Mario a slight tilt in his neck. However, as I continued to flesh out the drawing, I decided to have him look straight ahead for a more dynamic and engaging pose. Another decision I made was to leave out his fingers. They looked awkward and made his hand appear flat against his body, instead of having a more 3D realistic look. These adjustments really helped bring Mario to life in a way that feels more authentic and visually appealing. I'm at a point now where I'm happy with the line art, so next up is adding in some line weighting. I talk about this in almost every one of my videos, but adding line weight really takes your art to the next level. Once line weighting is done, it's coloring time. And for this piece, I tried to color and shade each part of Mario's body completely before moving on to the next piece. It helped me stay more organized as I rendered, and I think it makes the time lapse look cooler. I kick things off by working on Mario's iconic mustache and eyebrows, then moved on to his eyes and skin. When it came time to tackle Mario's reds, I knew I had to be extra selective. Red is, after all, Mario's most recognizable color, and I wanted to make sure I nailed it perfectly. Getting the right shade of red was crucial to capturing his classic look. After reds, I tackled the gloves, overalls, and finally, the boots. Rendering, also known as coloring and shading, is a really enjoyable part for me as an artist to complete, and it's fulfilling to finally get to this point. Let's get back to this movie poster idea I mentioned earlier. I'm going to get the cart back in here and finish the line art, weighting, and then color and shade the cart. I ended up following the same steps and methodology that I did for Mario. One challenge with the cart itself was I wanted to make it look like Mario was standing within his cart. In order to do this, I needed to take the cart and split it into two folders. One folder would be behind Mario and the other in front of him. That way, when it came time to add Mario, I had the formatting the way it should be. The power of layers comes in handy yet again. To give this piece a true movie poster vibe, I added some cool elements. Movie posters always have a catchy tagline, so I came up with,
"This summer, take on the world,"
to highlight Mario Kart World's awesome online multiplayer features. I also tweaked the Mario Kart World logo to pay homage to the original while fitting perfectly within my poster design. And of course, I included "this summer" because let's be honest, all great movie trailers start with that. To put the finishing touches on this piece, I knew I had to add a checkered flag. But since this is Mario Kart, I wanted to go the extra mile and include symbols from the mushroom, flower, and star cups. These iconic elements really bring the whole design together and capture the essence of Mario Kart. It's all about those little details that make the artwork pop and resonate with fans. Here it is, the finished Mario Kart World movie poster, and I think this is missing one crucial detail. Let's give the background some Nintendo Switch 2 color theming. There, that's better. How do you guys like the finished Mario Kart World movie poster? Drop a comment and let me know how I did. Since this video was made right before the Switch 2 launch, we still don't know if Mario Kart World is the ultimate Mario Kart experience. My Switch 2 pre-order doesn't arrive until next week, so I'm counting on you to share your thoughts on the new release and the new Nintendo Switch 2. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.